Hey guys, welcome back to another video with Lim Reviews. Today I have the Redmi Note 7 and this is going to be the full review. So I have been using this phone for about close to 1 week now, and I know there have been a lot of videos out there talking about this phone, but after using it for 1 week, I feel like I can really give you guys my thoughts on this device right now. So let's just jump into the review right away. Okay, before we begin, let me just show you what came in the box. So yeah, I'm in an empty restaurant again right now. Hopefully you don't get distracted by the noise around. But all you get in the box is a normal charger, the USB Type-C cable, and a transparent case. Of course, the phone comes in a box as well, so this is all that came in the box. I will not waste too much time talking about the unboxing, so there you have it. Let's put this aside for now and focus on the phone. So I have a lot to share with you guys today, so please bear with me if this is going to be a long video, but I'll try to make it under 10 minutes. Okay, first of all, let's talk about the build quality of this device. So after using this device for about a week now, I must say that I really like the build quality of this device. It feels good in hand, it doesn't feel very heavy. In fact, if you see the sides here, a lot of people are asking if it is plastic or metallic, but it doesn't really matter if it is plastic or metallic because it feels good. At the back, you have your glass back, and this is a Gorilla Glass back. At the front, we also have a Gorilla Glass front display over here. So this is both Gorilla Glass and it should hold up pretty well over time. Okay, so let's just look around the device. At the top, we have your 3.5mm headphone jack. At the side, we have the IR blaster. Right now, I do not have any notifications, but the notification LED sits right at the bottom, about here. Or here maybe. It is a very tiny LED notification. I will show you guys another video on it later. So at the bottom we have your USB Type-C port, and over here is a single firing speaker. So although you see two sections, but only the right side is a speaker and the left is the mic. Alright, now let's just talk about the display. So the display is pretty good. I've been using it, like I said, for a couple of days now, almost 1 week. And so far it has never failed me. The display is really clear and it is really bright outdoors. Everything you see on the display is really sharp as well. So I definitely have to give Xiaomi a thumbs up for giving us a great display. Of course, you see the notch at the top, but it doesn't really distract me. And one downside is you can't hide the notch, so you'll always be able to see the notch right there. But eventually you'll get used to it and this is what you get. So one thing about the display that I don't really like is that in certain apps you cannot use full screen. For example, YouTube, you can't YouTube in full screen. It will still show the black bars at the side, even though I have turned on the full display mode in settings. So let me just show you really quick in full display. So in full screen mode, I have here YouTube and everything else is, everything that I need to use in full screen I have turned on, but somehow when you go to YouTube, it still doesn't really show up. So other than that, the display is still a very good display and you should definitely be satisfied with this display. Alright guys, so now that we've done talking about the display, next I want to talk to you about the speakers. So the speakers on this device, like I say, is a single firing speaker, but it is really good. It sounds really good and I'm really impressed with the speaker that come on this phone. Alright, I'm not going to play the full song, but basically what I can really tell you right now is that the speaker here is really good and it doesn't crack even at high volumes. So you can expect to have really decent, nice sound coming from the Redmi Note 7. And if you guys like to listen a lot of music directly from your phone speaker, then this phone is definitely for you because it sounds really good. Okay, moving on, I would like to talk about the gaming aspect of this device. A lot of people have been asking me about how this device performs with PUBG. So let me just go into PUBG real quick. Alright, so like I said, I have been using this device for a couple of days now, almost a week, and I have gamed a couple of games on this device specifically, and my quick summary for now is that PUBG is definitely playable on this device. It is decently smooth, but if you're used to gaming on other higher end devices, you will definitely feel that this device is not as smooth to play with. But again, I would say that this is definitely playable. It's just that not as smooth as other higher end devices. It definitely works pretty well. Loading times is a bit slow, I would say, but otherwise you get a decent experience playing on this device. I mean, you're paying like 200 bucks for this phone, so you can't really expect like 500 bucks kind of experience device. But the next question you may ask me is, does this device feel warm after playing a lot of games on this device? So what I can tell you right now is that it gets a little warm, but it is not to the point of being uncomfortable. You still feel warm on any other phone you game on, so this is definitely acceptable for me, and I would really think that this isn't a big matter that you should worry about of the device getting too hot. It definitely doesn't feel that way. After gaming like 2 or 3 rounds of PUBG, and let's say we take about 50 minutes of playing games on this device, it still feels pretty good to me. It doesn't feel extremely hot. It's good enough. I can still game comfortably. So if PUBG is what you are really looking for in this device, I would say that yes, you can play it. It is decent, it is good, graphics are alright, but just don't expect it to be spectacular. Alright guys, moving on, let's talk about battery life on this device. If you go to settings, you can see the different kind of apps that take up most of your battery. You can even go into the hardware, like the screen. You can see the screen on time and all that right here. So they also have a graph that shows you all this. So basically I am able to get about 3 hours and a half of screen on time if I game really heavily on this device and take a lot of pictures and videos. But otherwise, on a regular day, I would be able to hit 4 hours to 4.5 hours of screen on time on this device. Charging this device up is not as quick because, like I said, you get a slow charger instead of the quick charge charger. So I did a quick test and you get about 40% in 40 minutes. And if you charge from like 10% to 100%, it will take about 1 hour and a half to go really full. So charging time is not quick, but if you really want to charge it up really quick, you can always get yourself a quick charge charger. Overall, battery wise, I would still give it a thumbs up because it can really last a pretty long time. Alright guys, last but not least, let's talk about the camera. So what does Redmi actually mean when they have 48 megapixels? Does it mean that you can really shoot 48 megapixel images? The short answer is yes. So let's just go into the camera interface and let me just show it to you guys. So if you go into camera, you see that you have photo mode, and when you swipe all the way to the right, you get your pro mode, and you got to activate the 48 megapixel camera at the top. So what this means is you are able to take even sharper photos and you are able to zoom into the photos. If you take a picture in the normal photo mode, you will get 12 megapixels for the image, and if you move to the pro mode, you will get your 48 megapixel image. So moving on to the gallery, I have taken a ton of photos whereby I will share with you guys, but let me just show you guys real quick. Alright guys, so notice this picture. This is taken in normal photo mode, whereas this was taken in the 48 megapixel mode. So in normal photo mode, you can zoom in just once. I mean, of course you can zoom in further, but this basically limits your zoom. If you go into the pro photo, you can really zoom in, really clear, and see much more detail here. So it says at the top there that this is a HD preview, so you can zoom in a lot and see the tiny details of this photo. So this is basically what the 48 megapixel camera is able to provide you with. I will show you guys more samples for you guys to evaluate right now. Alright guys, as usual, let's start off with the daylight photos taken on the Redmi Note 7. As you can see here, pictures taken in bright daylight turns out really nice. The skies are really blue, you have the very nice greens on the trees, and everything isn't too noisy on the pictures here. Note that all these pictures are currently being shot on the 12 megapixel default setting with the camera, and this is not taken with Pro mode. So again, take a look at all these 12 megapixel images and let me know what you think of this. If you're the kind of person like me who really likes to take photo of cars, then yeah, this is for you. This is the Lamborghini Aventador SVJ, and oh yeah, pictures of food turn out really nice. So moving on, here are a couple of shots with portrait mode turned on. So I don't have any friends, so I can't take pictures of anyone. I'm really sorry about that, but I managed to stalk some people, and this is the portrait modes that I can share with you. So as you can see, they turn out pretty okay. Not the best, but it's pretty alright. And now we move on to night mode. So here you can see at night, pictures turn out pretty decent as well. I mean, for a phone at this price, the image quality from these night shots are definitely better than a lot of other phones in the market right now that are even more expensive than the Redmi Note 7. So I feel that photos at night are pretty okay and definitely usable for your social media. Now let me show you a couple of 48 megapixel shots.
So 12 megapixel and 48 megapixel don't really differ in terms of image quality, but if you really want to zoom, this is what you get at maximum zoom for 12 megapixels, and this is what you get for maximum zoom at 48 megapixels. So moving on to the second shot, take a quick look at this image. It looks very nice in the day, and the 12 megapixel one looks similar as well. So this is the 48 megapixel one, but for the 12 megapixel, you can only zoom in and see these little trees. But for the 48 megapixel picture, you can actually zoom in further to see the little fans. And yeah, if you're the kind of person who likes to zoom in, this is for you. So one thing I must say is that if you put both the 12 megapixel and 48 megapixel photo side by side, you'll notice that the image quality is actually really similar if you look at it from afar. So unless you really want to zoom in, then you will have to use the 48 megapixel mode. If it were up to me, I would definitely use the Pro mode so I can tinker with the little settings. So look at these images. These were taken with the Pro mode and could not be achieved with the Auto mode. It looks really nice, and if you just move a bit, if you just work around with the settings, you can definitely get a really nice picture.
At the end of the day, I still think that shooting with the photo mode, the normal photo mode, is still the best, and you need not actually go into the Pro mode because it makes your pictures a bit grainy, a bit more noisy, and it is only if you really want to zoom in on your photos that you actually use the 48 megapixel mode. Alright guys, now let's talk about the video mode. Here you guys have a ton of questions as well, like why is the EIS not working and how does it work? Okay, so let me just show you real quick. If you go into videos, you'll notice that there is 3 different kind of video quality that you can shoot from. You can shoot at 1080p at 30 or 60 FPS or HD at 720p. So of course, you would choose either one of the 2 above. So if you shoot at 60 frames per second, basically EIS will not turn on. Thank you guys for the tip on letting me know that EIS only works at 30 FPS. Besides that, it also comes with time-lapse mode and a slow motion mode which isn't too great. So for time-lapse, again, you have a ton of settings here. You can see the time-lapse intervals. You can have a lot of different kind of intervals here, 8-second interval, 10-second interval. There are a lot of options here if you really like to take time lapses, okay?
Alright, so just to be sure again, 1080p at 30 frames per second with EIS turned on. Currently using the mic directly from the phone. So let me try to walk a little bit faster to see if the stabilization holds up. Alright, here we go. So what you see over there is the CBD of Guangzhou. Every day hundreds of people come here just to see that. Yeah, so there you have it, the 1080p video at 30 frames per second with EIS. Alright guys, so now let's go on to 1080p at 60 FPS. So you can see very clearly that without the stabilization for 60 FPS, it may be a bit bobby for you. And I do not know why the EIS does not work for 60 FPS, but yeah, this is what you get. All audio from here is directly from the phone itself, the Redmi Note 7. So let me know what you think. Okay, so you guys said you wanted a front-facing video camera test, so this is what you're gonna get. Nothing much to see around here. Alright, and just to show you guys a sample of a time-lapse and slow motion, this is what you will get from the Redmi Note 7.
Alright guys, another question that you have been asking me is portrait mode. So does portrait mode work in selfie mode? The answer is yes. You can see right now in portrait mode, the background is a bit blurred, but if I choose photo mode, it is very clear. Everything is very clear. So again, portrait mode, the backgrounds are blurred, even though it's a single firing camera right here at the top. But if you go into photo mode, everything is clear. So yes, the answer is yes, you can take photos in portrait mode. Alright guys, now that we have reached the end of the video, let me just tell you my quick thoughts after using this device for 1 week. So I really like this phone. For the price it offers like 200 bucks for this device, I think it is a really good phone. I mean, you could game on it, you could take pretty decent photos on it, and yeah, overall it is very smooth and it doesn't have any lags. I feel that everything opens up really quickly. It is very responsive. The build quality, I mean, the build quality is really good. The glass back with the glass front, I mean, makes it feel amazing in hand. And oh yeah, one more thing I forgot to mention is that if you remove the SIM tray, you'll notice that even though Redmi doesn't advertise this device as being IP rated, it actually has these rubber bands over the SIM tray, which is a hybrid SIM tray by the way, so that it prevents water from going into your device. It definitely has some dust proof going on as well, so rest assured that your device is still protected if it comes into contact with some water. But don't put your phone in the swimming pool. Just be assured that if some slight water falls on your phone, it will not damage your device. Yeah, but again, like I say, overall this device is a really good phone. I like the screen, I like the display, it is really clear. I like the cameras, it is pretty good. The fingerprint sensor and the face scanner is blazing fast. The phone has a decent battery, a very large battery in fact. And although it charges up really slowly, but you could always get yourself a quick charge charger which doesn't cost much, and you can charge your phone up really quickly. So yeah, if anyone is going to ask me like, what phone would you recommend for about 200 to 250 bucks, this phone is definitely on the list because it does a lot of things well, and I really am happy with this device. Alright guys, if you still have any more questions, please post them in the comment section below. I will try to answer every single one of them, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!